Ever wondered how a tiny 2-liter engine can outmuscle a V8 from a decade ago? It feels like some sort of mechanical witchcraft, doesn't it? You put your foot down in a modern hatchback and after a brief pause, the world goes blurry. The secret isn't magic. It's a clever bit of kit bolted to the side of the engine. How does this device, no bigger than a small melon, conjure up so much power? We are, of course, talking about the turbocharger. The core idea is beautifully simple. An engine makes power by burning a mixture of air and fuel. To make more power, you need to burn more of that mixture. Now, you could build a bigger engine, add more cylinders, increase the displacement, but that adds weight, adds complexity, and hurts your fuel economy. A turbocharger is a more elegant solution. A turbo uses the engine's own waste exhaust gas to spin a turbine. The turbine spins a compressor. The compressor forces more air into the engine. More air means you can add more fuel, and that explosive combination results in a much bigger bang. This process is a form of forced induction. A normal engine, naturally aspirated, simply breathes. It relies on atmospheric pressure to push air into the cylinders as the pistons move down. A turbocharged engine doesn't just breathe, it inhales with the force of a hurricane. It takes the air around us and compresses it, packing more oxygen molecules into the same amount of space. That dense oxygen-rich charge allows a far more potent combustion event, unlocking performance that would otherwise be impossible. Think of it like stoking a fire. Gently blow on embers, and the fire grows a little. Use powerful bellows, and a small flicker becomes a raging inferno. The turbocharger is the engine's high-tech, self-powering bellows. It's a brilliant cycle of recycling energy. Instead of letting hot exhaust gas whistle out the tailpipe, the turbo harnesses that wasted energy and converts it back into raw, exhilarating power. It's an engineering marvel that has reshaped the automotive landscape, from humble family cars to the most extreme hypercars on the planet. The turbocharger itself is composed of two main sections, two halves of a whole, connected by a central shaft, the turbine and the compressor. They are like two pinwheels joined back to back, each living in its own housing, spinning together in perfect synchrony. The first half, the turbine, lives on the hot side of the engine, directly in the path of the exhaust manifold. These aren't lazy fumes, they are a violent, energetic torrent of waste energy that spin the turbine wheel at incredible speeds. We're talking upwards of 150,000 to 250,000 revolutions per minute. That's not a typo. The turbine captures the kinetic energy of exhaust and converts it into rotational force. That force travels along the shaft to the cold side, the compressor. The compressor draws in fresh air from the filter and through sheer blade velocity slings it outward. The specially shaped housing collects this fast-moving air and pressurizes it. This denser air is what we call boost, measured in psi or bar above atmospheric pressure. So 15 psi of boost means the compressor is forcing air into the engine at 15 pounds per square inch higher than the surrounding atmosphere. Forcing all that air into a tight space gets it hot. Very hot. When you compress a gas, its temperature increases. Hot air is less dense and it raises the risk of engine knock, detonation, which can destroy an engine. Engineers solve this with an intercooler, basically a radiator for intake air, routing air from the compressor through it before the intake manifold. Hot charge flows through tubes, cool ambient air over fins draws heat away. Intake temps drop, air gets denser and safer. A turbo can generate way more boost than most engines can handle. Enter the wastegate, a bypass valve that controls turbo speed. When boost hits the preset target, the actuator opens the wastegate. There is, however, one infamous characteristic associated with older turbocharged cars: turbo lag. You'd press the accelerator, and for a moment, nothing. The engine would feel sluggish, as if it were still waking up. Then, suddenly, as the revs climbed, the turbo would spool up and deliver a massive, often unruly surge of power. That delay is the time it takes for exhaust pressure to spin the heavy turbine and compressor up to speed. This lag was pronounced in early cars like the Saab 99 Turbo and Porsche 930 Turbo, with large, single turbos. They could make enormous peak power, but needed lots of exhaust energy to get spinning, resulting in an on-off power delivery. Below 3,000 or 4,000 RPM, the engine felt lethargic, but once spooled, you'd better be holding on tight. That ketchup bottle effect made the cars tricky to drive smoothly on a winding road. Thankfully, modern engineering brought an arsenal to combat turbo lag. Smaller, lighter turbochargers have less inertia, so they spin up quicker and provide boost at lower revs. The trade-off is running out of puff at the top end. To get the best of both worlds, Many use twin turbo systems. Sequential setups use a small turbo at low revs and a larger one at high revs. Parallel setups, like on BMW inline sixes, use two identical small turbos feeding half the cylinders each. Twin scroll turbos separate exhaust pulses in a divided housing, preventing interference and hitting the turbine with a more consistent stream for faster spool. The benefits of turbocharging are undeniable. We have cars like the Mercedes-AMG A45S. It extracts a frankly ludicrous 415 horsepower from a tiny 2-liter 4-cylinder. On the sensible end, Ford's 1-liter EcoBoost moves a family car with excellent economy. But turbos need care. The turbo's shaft rides on a thin film of oil. Use the right oil and change it on schedule. After hard driving, let the engine idle 30 to 60 seconds so oil carries heat away. Turbochargers harness wasted energy into thrilling performance, power and efficiency in equal measure. Turbos, the power behind modern performance.